Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever and however you are listening or watching the Valley Life podcast, where we're taking theology from the classroom to the living room, storeroom, stockroom, workroom, weight room, washroom, and back to the classroom.
Yes.
My name is Vinnie Hankey. I'm the lead pastor of Valley Life Community Church. Joining me today is our newly minted associate pastor, Mr. Brandon Lockridge. Hey, buddy.
Hello. Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
I'm doing all right.
We are just a couple weeks from your big ordination service.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that? Are you nervous?
Not nervous. I think just a little blown away. Just humbled by, up until 9 months ago, I just never would have imagined that this is where I would be,
Yeah.
And so just thinking back about my life and up to this point and what the Lord has done and where he's brought me and all the different things that he's brought me through and our family through. And yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, you know who you are, that you're you're a filthy sinner and you're just totally unworthy, and you just sit back and think like, man, I don't like, why did you choose me for this, Lord? I just don't even like, you just feel like, I don't know, like, man, am I really worthy of this, And so I don't know, it's just like a really humbling thing. Yeah. I want to do it well. I want to serve him well, and in this capacity, and just like just go wherever the Lord is going to take me. And so, anyways, it's kind of a crazy thing.
Well, I'm grateful to play a small part in what God's doing in you and through you. The reason our episode, or the purpose for our episode today, is to talk a little bit about some of what you oversee here at Valley Life, which is our adult Sunday school ministry. This started a number of years ago. Even just kind of you championing that idea of spending time before corporate worship, engaging with the church's teachings and doctrine, and walking through the Belgian Confession. And so we've had a fall semester, great classes, Brandon Torres and Jim Evenhouse leading. And now as we prepare for the winter semester or winter quarter or trimester or whatever we call it, I thought we'd get together and just talk a little bit about some of the classes that are coming up. So what do we got? What do we got on tap?
Yeah, so the goal for the adult Sunday school classes is to have at least 2 classes that are running simultaneously, one being a book of the Bible, and then the other one being something that is more, theological or historical or something of that ilk. And so one of our elders, Dan Shook, he started a study through Isaiah, which he began last winter of 2024. And he went kind of through, I think he started back in January and he went through maybe May or something like that. But I'm not quite sure how far he got, to be honest with you, but I know he's going to be. I mean, it's Isaiah. It's huge.
65 chapters.
Yes.
So there's some work to do.
Yes. So he's going to be picking back up in Isaiah February 2nd.
Yep.
And then for starting in on January 5th, you will be leading a class for us.
Yep. I'm going to teach my very first Sunday school class here at Valley Life Community Church. We'll call it Discipleship Basics. Mm-hmm. So the idea is we're going to use scriptures, stories, and shapes to help talk about the building blocks of what it means to be a disciple of Jesus. And the goal is to help equip those who attend the class with easily memorable and reproducible tools to help them both understand what their life as a disciple looks like, and then how they can help walk other disciples through critical moments and ultimately growing in our character and conduct of Christ. So 4 weeks, super simple. I'd encourage anyone who's new to Valley Life to attend. This is material that I used to preach through every January that we're going to now turn into a Sunday school class. And so for those who've been around, it won't be anything new. But if they want a refresher, it'd be great for old timers as well.
Yeah. Yep. So that'll be a 4-week class all the way through January. And then, as I mentioned, Dan is going to be doing the Book of the Bible class on starting February 2nd. And so also starting for our second class, which will also be starting on February 2nd, which will be our theology class, I am going to be doing the Attributes of God by A.W. Pink. A.W. Pink. There's a zillion Attributes of God books out there, but the one that I'm very familiar with that I read years ago was the one by A.W. Pink. There is actually a study guide that was put together back in the late 90s, and this was by Chapel Library. So copyright 1999. Chapel Library put together this study guide, which is actually public. They made it public domain, so you can I just grabbed it off the internet. But I've used this before, and it's a neat little study guide that we will utilize with those who attend the class. We'll take time to read the chapter, and then come together with the study guide and go through it, and it'll be a discussion-based class, and so not really me necessarily teaching from front, but just facilitating the discussion. And so Attributes of God is something that I always love as a starting point when we're talking about theology. You think about from a systematic theology standpoint, we start with every good systematic theology starts with theology proper, which is the doctrine of God. And so going through the attributes of God is one of the best ways that we get to know who God is.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we talk about God's attributes, we have to remember that these are not things that God necessarily possesses, it's things that he actually is. So when we talk about God being holy or loving or just, we have to remember that those are not things that he possesses. I mean, he literally is the definition of holiness, of love, of justice. And so it'll be fun to go through the attributes. It'll be a 12-week class for this, and the study guide has it broken. The chapters kind of broken up really well. So we'll just kind of follow that. And
so I think what I like about this semester coming up is really we have 3 different category of classes. Right? We've got I'm going to do essentially practical Christian living. Right? So if that's an area you want to grow in and understand the nuts and bolts of daily living as a Christian and being a disciple, there's that for you. We've got kind of the classic Bible study method, and Dan, I believe he's tried to attack it at least a chapter a week, and maybe where it fits thematically a couple chapters a week, so you can easily read and follow along. Dan, for those of you who don't know, because he's pretty quiet about it, but he's got 2 advanced degrees in curriculum creation, and so he has studied the science of creating teaching materials. And so you will enjoy his teaching materials that he presents because he takes extra time and effort and understands what works. And so kind of classic Bible study model with Dan. And then you're taking a systematic theology class, essentially, and starting with that first loci, theology proper, in studying the attributes of God. So you can really get a flavoring of what you want from the Sunday school ministry this coming semester. And you could attend my class and then pick one or even alternate between the 2 and get some Bible study in you, get some systematic theology in you, and learn how to practically live.
And the other part too is we will be recording the classes, so that you will be able to pick those up if you want to attend it's sometimes tough to make a decision. So you're like, which one do I go to? But we'll be recording both of them, so you can pick one and stick with it, and then listen to the other one through the Valley Life app, Valley Life Church app. Or if you did want to bounce back and forth, you can always pick up the week that you missed from the other class on the app. So it's nice. I mean, modern technology to be able to record this stuff and put it into the app. So,
and Dan's always really good too about sharing his Bible study materials.
right.
And so, as he's created those, he always makes them public. You can go back and see some of the samples of the work that he's created right in the church app already.
Right.
For folks who we've piqued their interest in, we've hooked them. What do they do next? Where do they want to? How do they get connected? How do they let us know they want to attend a class? Do they need to sign up somewhere?
Yeah. So we have always done signups for, like, this past fall. We did signups for the classes. Now we'll do that again. You'll be able to sign up through the church app coming soon on that. But also, don't feel like, if I don't sign up, I can't come. That's not what this is. I mean, I think for one of our elders, Jim Evenhouse, for his class, I think he literally had like 4 or 5 people sign up, but then like 10 or 11 people ended up coming.
Yeah.
So, just come, be a part of it. We like to have signups so we kind of know, roughly what the crowd's going to look like. But I mean, just come and be a part of it, and don't feel like, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to be committed the entire time. That's okay. Just come when you can, be a part of it. Again, the audio recordings will be on the church app too.
Yeah. Any final thoughts for the winter semester you want people to know about before we close up shop?
I think I'm excited I'm excited for our Sunday school classes. As you mentioned, I think it was fall of 2021 when I did my first class here, and that was something that I'd been wanting to do for quite some time, and I just noticed that, aside from Dan's class, we didn't have anything else really going on the Sunday mornings. And so I just thought, well, hey, what would be neat is, as a Reformed church, if we're saying that one of the documents that we hold to as our confessional standards is the Belgic Confession, I thought, let's just start with that.
Yep.
And then we started that in fall of 2021, and it went really well. And then Pastor Kevin Bailey picked it up and he grew it and was like, we're going to do more of this, because it went so well, and we continued it. And so I'm really excited for our adult Sunday school ministries, and I hoping that anybody that can, come, be a part of it, enjoy.
Yeah. Well, dear listener, dear watcher, thanks for being a part of the Valley Life podcast. If you liked or enjoyed some of the things we shared, please leave a comment, share it with your friends, subscribe. We want good theology to be out there, and part of the work we do is this podcast. So help us share it, and that way we can avoid bad theology, because bad theology
Hurts people.
It hurts people, and we don't want anybody to be hurt. For Mr. Brandon Lockridge, I'm Pastor Vinnie. As always, God bless you.